Welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts on this video. Let's get the channel to 20k. With that said, let's get into the video. So in this video, a lady triggers Zionists with her video. This was after her video went viral on TikTok, where she was expressing how she would also love to be kidnapped by the Hamas group. Now, this is because in her life, that's according to her, she has never seen hostages being happy and shaking hands with the people that held them hostage. She explains how videos show how Hamas hostages were happily saying goodbye, shaking hands with their kidnappers, and even wishing them good luck. Now, in all of this, people are only interpreting this by saying that despite the Hamas group being kidnappers, they treated Israel hostages better than how Israel was treating the Palestinian hostages. Now, her video was misinterpreted, and it seems it never sat well with most of the Zionists. But she made another video explaining why she made this video, shared this type of video, and even said what she said in this video, which I will be sharing at the end of this video. For now, check out her video. I will be right back.
I want to be a hostage for the H group. Hostages are leaving Gaza with goodbyes, good luck, and thank you. The videos and the pictures of the hostages leaving from Gaza are a joke. I never seen something like that before. I never seen a hostage high-fiving the kidnapper. I never seen a hostage who was kidnapped with her dog and she is leaving her and her dog. I never seen a hostage saying thank you to the kidnapper. I never seen a hostage saying good luck to the kidnapper. Like, good luck for what? For doing stuff against you? This is beyond insane. That's what has been happening the past few days. The H group is gonna be the reason Netanyahu is gonna get a heart attack soon. This is insane. On the Israeli side, people are complaining about showing the pictures of hostages and the videos of them engaging with the H group on TV. They don't want that to be shown. Also, Netanyahu tried to go and visit one of the hostages and they refused. Also, there was a man who his mother was hostage, and he wrote that his mom came back with better health than before, and he doesn't know if she was getting the wrong treatment in Israel because apparently she was treated better in Gaza. These are all information of what has been happening. Those are the updates, and I want to be a message for the H group.
Now, more than 100 hostages taken by Hamas during its October 7 attack on Israel were released through a negotiated swap for 240 Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. A post on social media claims that the freed Israelis look like people finishing a vacation, which this lady is also talking about in her video. But news reports say many of the Israelis returned malnourished, injured, and traumatized. Now, this is like a contradiction to what the lady is saying and what the videos are saying, or what they seem to look like. But let's also not forget the propaganda which is there when it comes to sharing news or information on the internet about what's happening between Israel and Gaza. Let's check out these videos, and when I come back, we get to unveil the truth behind all of this.
Are leaving Gaza with goodbyes, good luck, and thank you.
What's up, C-grade tennis player that literally no one ever heard of? As new evidence finds out, the Israeli hostages were drugged, so ignorant people like you would think they had a good time. Here's an article from yesterday from the New York Post that says, starved Israeli hostages were drugged, fed before released, so they look calm and happy on camera. Here's another one by Fox News. Here's another one from Baroons from December 5th. But all you wish for is being hostage by the H group. You must be some sort of a genius.
I take a short break from TikTok because I was traveling for Thanksgiving. And this is the type of shit I come back to. I'm in pretending that the Israelis are just falling in love with the Hamas kidnappers. Like, girl, same. That woman was shot. Because she had received no medical treatment while she was being held, it went into shock multiple times. Her wound was getting septic. If she hadn't been released when she was, in about a week, she would have been dead. She wasn't released because Hamas was feeling kind. She was released because Israel traded actual convicted criminals to get her. And no, she wasn't waving or smiling because she was in love with her kidnapper. She was dying, and she was being released to the people who were actually going to treat her. So yeah, she was feeling pretty good about it. I'll tell you, even as a grown man who served 10 years in the army, if my car is surrounded by a bunch of Hamas militants with K-47s, yeah, I'm gonna be nice too. I legitimately should be surprised that people are this fucking ridiculous. But weirdly enough, I'm not.
Ma'am, I don't know if you realize, but there are still active hostages right now. Do you really think the ones who've just been released are going to compromise the safety of the ones who are still in hostage? No! They're going to play along because that's what they were instructed to do. If you want to go be a hostage of the age group, be my guest. But then come out and make a video for everyone, updating us? That's if you come out in one piece. Ya habibti.
Now, as hostages released by Hamas try to settle back into some semblance of normal life, some of the first questions likely asked by those around them are deeply human. Where were you? What did you eat? Where did you sleep? Was there a bathroom? Now, with the release of hostages, more details are trickling in from family members of those who have been freed as part of the temporary ceasefire agreement. Hila Rotem Shoshani, who was 12 when she was taken, was released without her mom Raya, who remains in Hamas custody. Now, Raya and Hila were kidnapped from Kibbutz on October 7. She said they had toilets, they had food, not a lot. Sometimes there was not enough food. Sometimes they were a little bit hungry. Sometimes there was more food. Her uncle Rotem told NBC News outside the hospital where she is currently being monitored, where in a video released showed Hila running into her uncle's arms after her release. Now, during a week-long pause in the fighting between Israel and Hamas, a ceasefire that began on November 24th and was mediated by Qatar, the two sides began exchanging some of the hostages held in Gaza and Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. As of December 3rd, 105 hostages had been released by Hamas, and according to the American Jewish Committee, the released hostages included 81 Israelis, some with dual citizenship, as well as 23 Thai nationals and one Filipino. In exchange, Israel released 240 Palestinians, most of them teenagers, the New York Times reported. Now, many of the Israeli hostages, according to the interviews with family members, returned malnourished, infested with lice, ill injured, and deeply traumatized, the Times also reported. An 84-year-old woman who had been held hostage was in life-threatening condition after not receiving proper care in captivity, and another freed hostage required surgery, according to the Associated Press. But a November 29th post on X, the platform formerly called Twitter and Instagram, presents a view of the hostages' condition when they were freed. Now, the post claims videos of Israeli hostages being released look like people finishing a vacation and saying goodbye to the resort staff. They're smiling, laughing, hugging, blowing kisses, and waving goodbye to their captors. Multiple Israeli hostages have been interviewed and said they were treated with kindness and respect while being well fed. Now, in a deal brokered by Egypt and Qatar before the ceasefire, one Israeli hostage, 85-year-old, was released on October 23rd, and she was seen on video shaking the hand of one of her captors. At a press conference the next day, this woman said that members of Hamas had treated her with care and gentleness during her captivity, but she also described the violence of the October 7 attack and her action from her home in Israel. Now, the accounts of other Israeli hostages did not describe Hamas as treating them with kindness and respect while being well fed, as the ex-post claims. In interviews with the New York Times, relatives speaking for the hostages said some were given a single piece of bread per day and were held in deep sweltering tunnels. Now, the social media post also compares the condition of the Israeli hostages with the treatment of the Palestinians released from Israeli prisons in the recent exchanges. Meanwhile, Palestinian hostages, mostly kids and women, came back with burn marks, broken bones, and permanent mental anguish, the post claims. An analysis by the New York Times found that most Palestinians released by Israel were 18 and younger, 107 teenagers younger than 18, including 3 girls and 66 who were 18 years old. 3/4 of them had not been convicted of any crime. They had been detained for what Israel said were offenses related to Israel's security, the Times reported. Now, a political science professor specializing in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict said in a December 1st phone call interview that he had seen no reports or evidence that the batch of prisoners who released in exchange for hostages with signs of mistreatment. I have not seen that. He also said some of the released Israeli hostages have been in much better shape than most Israelis expected. That is fair to say, but to say they look like they were on vacation, that's ridiculous. He said the content of the social media post comparing the conditions of the Israeli hostages with the Palestinian prisoners uses two extreme examples. On one hand, the 85-year-old Israeli hostage was seen shaking hands and thanking her captors, and she remarked how well she was treated by them. She received tremendous criticism in Israel for those actions and comments, and that became a well-known incident. On the other hand, in an October 19 article on the news website Middle East Eye cited a report in the Israeli newspaper about 3 West Bank Palestinians who were detained on October 12 for hours and beaten, burned and used by Israeli soldiers and settlers before they were released later that night. They were not among the 240 Palestinians released as part of the Israel-Hamas exchange. Now, he said it appeared the social media post was referring to the incident in the West Bank. The post, while trying to make a drastic argument, conflated a report about mistreatment of Arabs by the military in the West Bank since the October 7 attack with the condition of the released Palestinian detainees. But he also said that prisoners are not treated well in Israeli prisoners. They are kept alive, but they are mistreated systematically right now. Israel's far-right national security minister has been trying to reduce their living standards, taking away privileges and making life much more miserable for Palestinian prisoners of all types. We have come to the end of the video. Please feel free to share your own take on this video as I leave you with another video of hers as she explains why she made the main video in the first place. Here is the clip.
The age group. So my video, the one I just stitched, has been going viral, and I see that it's pissing off a lot of Zionists. It's so funny. I wake up every day to a lot of do it and a lot of stitches on Instagram too and on TikTok, and they are just calling me names. They are just wishing me stuff, and I want to thank all of you for taking from your time to give me all this attention. This is what I wanted. I look at those videos and I just laugh. It's funny. It's funny that you really don't see the difference of how your hostages were treated in Gaza and the Palestinian hostages are treated in Israel. It's funny that you don't see how the Palestinian hostages are beaten up and tortured. The Palestinian hostages are coming out from the illegal Israeli prisons with broken arms and mental damage, and yours are coming out with smiles, not hurt, and one of them has her dog. I just saw the interview with that girl with the dog, and she said that when they were taking her as a hostage, she hid the dog in her jacket, and then when they found out that she has the dog inside the tunnels, they let her have her dog. And they were feeding the dog from the remainder of their food, and they were even letting the dog do its business on the side of the room, and they were cleaning after it. And you can easily find that video. It's of the girl, and it's from an Israeli media, blah, blah, blah. You can easily find that. So the fact that you're just turning a blind eye to how hostages were treated inside Gaza compared to the hostages who are treated in Israeli prisons is crazy. So again, I want to thank everyone who is commenting on my videos, everyone who is giving me the attention, everyone who is taking from their time to reply to my video. I didn't know that I'm that important, but thanks a lot, and continue. You can keep taking the video. I'm not gonna take it down. You can have it.